A wounded Russian soldier with an apparent leg injury is observed lying on the forest floor. Exhaustion has overtaken him, and he rests in place rather than attempting to move. Nearby, a grenade is positioned beneath his head, used as an improvised support. From above, a Ukrainian drone records the scene, highlighting fatigue, isolation, and the risks created by prolonged exposure in wooded terrain. The following incident occurs near a ruined village north of Pokrovsk that had been occupied earlier. A Russian soldier is observed moving outside the fence line of a damaged residential compound, likely assigned to patrol the perimeter. From above, a Ukrainian drone redirects toward the settlement and begins a quiet approach. On the ground, the soldier remains unaware, continuing his movement along the broken structures and debris. As the drone closes in, the operator confirms the position and adjusts the descent path. Only at the last moment does the soldier appear to sense something unusual, reacting to a faint sound overhead. He stops moving and stands still, choosing not to run or seek cover. The drone maintains its course without hesitation and commits to the approach. The sequence ends under direct aerial observation, illustrating how routine patrol movement in ruined villages can quickly become exposed once overhead surveillance establishes control. The next situation unfolds inside a forest near Kupiansk, where a Ukrainian drone maintains observation over a lone Russian soldier moving below. As the drone hovers at a steady distance, the soldier repeatedly raises his arms and crosses them in an X shape, appearing to signal that he does not want to be attacked. The drone does not commit and continues monitoring from above. The soldier keeps walking while continuing the gestures, never stopping and never placing his weapon on the ground. After some distance, his behavior changes. He no longer carries the weapon passively and instead grips it in a ready position. Moments later, he stops, turns, and raises the weapon toward the drone tracking him overhead. The sequence ends with the drone holding position, recording the shift from signaling to confrontation under direct aerial observation. A Russian soldier is observed taking cover inside a shallow trench. From above, a Ukrainian drone confirms the position and releases a single munition, concluding the engagement under direct aerial observation. The scene unfolds along a forest edge in the Pokrovsk direction, where a Ukrainian drone hovers overhead observing a Russian soldier lying on the ground below. The soldier repeatedly brings his hands together and lowers his head, clearly signaling distress and an intent to surrender. He remains still, making no attempt to flee or resist. From above, the drone maintains observation without committing to an attack. No further action follows, and the moment ends under continued aerial watch. The incident takes place along a forest edge in the Pokrovsk direction, where a Ukrainian drone detects two Russian soldiers moving under tree cover. The pair attempts to reduce exposure by stopping behind a thick tree trunk near the forest line. From above, the drone confirms the position and commits immediately, descending toward the cover point. After the initial strike, one soldier is rendered inactive. The second soldier appears injured and begins crawling away in visible distress, searching for another place to hide. He reaches a fallen tree a short distance away and presses himself against it, hoping the terrain will offer protection. Moments later, another Ukrainian drone arrives overhead, aligns its approach, and commits to the new position, concluding the sequence under direct aerial observation. The incident takes place near the Pokrovsk sector, where a Ukrainian drone detects a Russian truck towing a D-30 howitzer, moving from a rear base toward open ground. From above, the drone tracks the route and confirms the destination. After arrival, the crew dismounts and begins assembling the artillery piece in the field. The coordinates are transmitted immediately. Within moments, Ukrainian forces respond with a precision strike using the HIMARS system, neutralizing the position before the weapon can be brought into action. A Russian soldier jumps from a tank moments before a Ukrainian drone commits and runs toward the nearby forest for cover. After the first strike, the vehicle comes to a stop and additional crew members abandon it, retreating into the trees in panic. Seconds later, another Ukrainian drone descends and strikes the immobilized tank again, ensuring it cannot be recovered or repositioned. A rare incident unfolds near ruined buildings north of Donetsk, where a wounded foreign fighter aligned with Russian forces is found alone in the snow. His hands appear restrained, and no supporting movement is visible nearby. The situation suggests he has been abandoned as a decoy under aerial surveillance. A Ukrainian drone holds position overhead, observing without committing. No strike follows, and the sequence ends with continued monitoring under controlled aerial watch. A Russian BMP armored vehicle carrying personnel, ammunition, and equipment accelerates across open ground and enters a Ukrainian-engineered anti-tank minefield. The vehicle is disabled immediately, ending the movement before it can reach the frontline position. The following incident unfolds near Donetsk, where a Ukrainian drone detects a Russian soldier stepping out from the edge of a forest line. The soldier quickly notices the drone overhead and raises his weapon, firing upward to force it to climb beyond effective range. As the drone pulls higher, the soldier retreats back under the tree cover, attempting to disappear into the forest. Moments later, another Ukrainian drone accelerates toward his position and commits to an attack. The attempt fails to stop him. Almost immediately, additional drones begin circling overhead, maintaining pressure and limiting his options. The soldier responds by firing repeatedly toward the sound above, turning constantly to track movement, but his shots miss their mark. A second drone dives in and attacks again. Once more, the strike does not achieve its objective. The airspace above the forest edge remains active, with drones repositioning and rotating in sequence. The soldier continues moving, alert and tense, scanning the sky while advancing through uneven ground. He fires again, but two more drones descend in quick succession, attempting to cut off his movement. Despite the pressure, the soldier regains his footing and keeps moving. For a brief period, a combination of timing and chance allows him to avoid consecutive attacks. He breaks free from the forest edge and runs into open ground, increasing distance from the trees. After a prolonged movement, his pace slows as he approaches a large tree standing alone in the field. At that moment, another Ukrainian drone descends and commits. This time, the outcome changes. The soldier collapses to the ground. Within seconds, additional drones converge on the position, ending the sequence under sustained aerial observation. The sequence opens with a Ukrainian drone accelerating toward a lone Russian soldier seated on a railway track. As the aircraft closes the distance, the soldier remains still, seated upright and unmoving, showing no visible reaction to the approaching sound. According to released footage, this activity forms part of a large-scale drone campaign conducted by Ukraine's 414th Aviation Brigade, known as Magyar's Birds, operating across the eastern Donetsk front. Over the course of a single day, more than 100 drones were deployed to observe, track, and engage Russian soldiers moving individually across the battlefield. The operations focus on dispersed infantry rather than massed formations, exploiting exposure created by isolation and limited support. The video compiles multiple moments recorded just seconds before drone impact. From above, even small movements become immediately visible. Soldiers crossing open ground, pausing near tree lines, or shifting between improvised cover are detected with little delay. In several scenes, infantry attempt to flee, change direction, or conceal themselves beneath vegetation or terrain features. Others remain motionless, relying on stillness to avoid attention. Across different environments, these reactions produce similar outcomes. The footage shows how limited equipment in the absence of effective countermeasures sharply reduce available options. Without air defense, electronic protection, or coordinated support, individual soldiers are forced to rely on instinctive responses. Some attempt to fire upward or reposition at the last moment. Others freeze, hoping the threat will pass. From the drone's perspective, each decision is recorded and evaluated in real time. What emerges is a consistent pattern. Persistent aerial presence compresses reaction time and denies safe movement regardless of terrain. Forest edges, trenches, open fields, rail lines, and damaged infrastructure all offer only temporary delay once detection occurs. The sequence underscores recurring tactical challenges on the modern battlefield, highlighting the growing vulnerability of infantry operating under constant aerial surveillance and the difficulty of maneuvering without integrated protection or coordinated cover. The incident occurs inside a forest in the Lyman direction, where a Ukrainian drone tracks 3 Russian soldiers moving beneath the tree cover. From above, their movement is followed as they slow and cluster at 2 points near the base of a large tree. Once the positions are confirmed, the drone adjusts altitude and releases a single munition. The sequence ends under direct aerial observation. The following footage is a compilation of multiple Ukrainian drone operations targeting Russian infantry and vehicles, conducted by the Iron Falcon UAV Battalion of the 67th Mechanized Brigade. Across different locations and conditions, the drones are used to detect movement, confirm targets, and apply pressure once exposure occurs. The sequences show how infantry advancing without cover and vehicles operating along predictable routes are identified quickly from above. Rather than focusing on a single engagement, the compilation highlights repetition and pattern. Once detected, movement options narrow rapidly. Infantry scatter, vehicles attempt to reposition, and temporary cover proves unreliable. The footage emphasizes coordination, timing, and sustained aerial presence instead of close-range combat detail. Together, these engagements illustrate how organized UAV units apply continuous observation to disrupt mobility, deny recovery, and shape the battlefield by controlling space from the air rather than relying on direct confrontation alone.